How's it going tonight, guys? It's Tuesday night. I want to do things a little different than we normally have been doing. I'd like to do something a little more along the lines of drafting and not just kind of drawing parts. Um, so, what you can expect when you work at an engineering firm as a drafter, depending what discipline you are, for this instance, we are going to use low voltage as an example. And basically, what happens is your company wins the bid on a job, and you will be provided plans or a DWG of the building that you are to work with, and then it is up to you as the drafter to get those plans into AutoCAD, and then to start setting up your sheet. And then once your sheet's set up and your plans are in, then it's time to start laying out the uh, all the devices and everything, such as security cameras, card readers, data points where an Ethernet cable will be. So there's a lot that kind of goes into it, and I just want to kind of start with the very basic. I might do this in multiple parts. So first things first, I have saved a drawing called LV-1. This is going to be sheet LV-1. We could show a cover sheet and everything, and we may do that down the road, but I just want to kind of show what let's say we weren't provided the DWG file, and all we were given was a set of plans. So it's going to be up to us to create the building, or at least have the outline of the building, so that we have something to accurately lay this thing out. So I'm opening this PDF that I downloaded from online, just a sample job, and this is kind of what we're working towards. We are going to change. We're going to clean this up a little bit to what our purposes need to be, and then I'm going to create different symbols for this stuff. But for the moment, let's just say none of these symbols are on here, and uh, we need to take and get this building on paper, and that's going to be the goal of today's video. And the next one, we'll kind of do some of the next steps. So let's say we were provided a job. It's going to be up to us to lay it out to our company standards, as far as they want a complete layout of security cameras, card readers, data points in the offices, a Wi-Fi system. They want to know where the Wi-Fi locations will be, as well as maybe emergency exits and whatnot. But I feel like those are more on electrical. It's been a while. I don't quite remember. So first thing we need to do is, let's type in units. We want to make sure, just always check that your drawing is set to architectural. This is going to do your lines. If I go to make a line right now, it'll do it in feet and inches, where before with my 2D drawings, it was in decimal, so it was like millimeters and whatnot. So that's set up. The next thing I want to talk about really fast is layers. So layers are, to put this, a layer is kind of a label, okay, but it's also, there's some controlling factors. So the best way to look at it is if you have a box of colored pencils, okay, and like, let's say that when I draw this building, I want all the walls to be blue, okay, but I'm not just going to choose blue. I'm going to make a sticker, let's say, that's going to be named wall, and that would go on a blue colored pencil. And now every line I draw while that is turned on would fall under that wall category with the blue pencil. So type in layer, and that may not have been a great way to describe that, you guys, but I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it. Hold on, I'm just purging out anything that was in here before. All right, so let's type in layer, and we have a layer called XREF, def points, and 0. So I created this XREF layer, so just ignore it for now. So let's create a new layer, and it's this little button here. You can also right click and hit new layer, but that's that little button with the plus. So let's right click on this and hit rename layer, and we are going to name this PDF. and we are going to change the color to, um, it's not really important for the moment, but let's just choose color 9. Okay. I'm going to right click and hit set current. So now if I go back to my home tab, you can see that up here, the PDF layer is selected. Now any line or anything we draw, it's going to come in as that color 9. And if I was to select it, you can see here that it says color by layer, the layer's PDF, and the line type is by layer. We'll dive into that stuff a little more. There's a lot you can get into with layers, but for the moment, we've created a layer called PDF set to color 9, and anything that we do now with this set will be under that layer. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is go to insert, and we need to get this PDF of what we have provided to us from our customer, and we need to get that into CAD. Okay. So we're going to hit attach, go to insert, and then attach. Let's go to our sample low voltage system. And then we are going to specify on screen where we're going to put this. Actually, we'll just let it put it in at 000. Again, I will explain that a little more as well, but just for the moment, let it come in as it is. Let's hit OK. All right. We can only be viewed in the 2D wire. It's because I have this setting set to shaded from our 2D drawing before. So I clicked up here and I changed this to 2D wireframe, and that allowed us to see this. Okay, so for the moment, guys, we have this PDF in, and if we select it, you can see it says PDF underlay. We have layer PDF, color by layer. Okay, and for the moment, let's ignore everything except the walls. All right, so type in layer again, and we need to create a layer called wall. So let's do that, and then let's change this to something that that'll stand out for us, that we can see for the moment. So let's go with magenta. Okay, let's right click, hit set current, exit out. Now as we draw, I'm going to type in PL so I can trace around this building here. Oh, one other trick I do, you guys, sorry. If you type in properties, select the PDF, and if you set the transparency, I'm going to set it to 60. So what this will do is it kind of makes this so that it's see-through, and you can go anywhere from 0 to 100. 0 is, it's not see-through at all. 60 is pretty transparent. And now as I create my lines, we'll be able to see where they are much easier than if they weren't if things weren't transparent. So let's kind of trace around the building here. And we are doing a polyline, so it'll just keep allowing us to just keep clicking as we go. And our first plan, we're going to ignore doors and everything. The first goal is to just get things in the way we want them. And AutoCAD, I will say, it also will allow you to bring in a PDF and convert it into CAD, but I will say it can be messy. I don't want all this information on, and I want to be able to control what I'm doing. So I like bringing in a PDF, and any draftsman or CAD guy can go through and kind of clean this up really fast and draw the walls, and it doesn't take that long. So I'm going to type in join just to make sure everything's connected, and as we can see, I have the outer building shape. So now another thing we will do is hit offset. We will type in offset or just O. So hit O, enter, and then select this line, and we just set the depth. So I'm going to undo so we can see that again, and just so you know, if you type in U then enter, it will undo your last move. So I'm going to type in O for offset, and now it's saying what's the distance that you want to use. So I'm going to click the outer part of the wall and the inner part, and that will set my distance of how thick I need this to be. Now it's saying which line do you want to offset. So the outer line that we just did, I'm going to select it and come over and hit enter. So now we effectively have drawn the outer perimeter of this place. Now, this could take a quick minute, but we don't need anything too crazy. I don't expect you guys to sit and watch me go through every bit of this though, so I will just do a few walls just for an instance here uh, on camera so that you guys don't have to watch every bit of this. And basically, again, we're just tracing the wall, guys, tracing the shape. And we should be able to come here, then up. Oh, one thing I forgot to say, okay. We also want to make sure this is to scale. And so on a job like this, I'm not seeing any dimensions anywhere. It does say that 1/16 of an inch equals a foot. So that's a tip. But one thing you can go off of, at least for a lot of buildings, is if you know the size of the door. So for example, because we don't have any dimensions anywhere, I'm going to assume that these are 3-foot doors, which is a standard. So we need to scale this drawing to match that. So the way to do it is pick a door, type in line, grab an interior part of it, and drag over and hit 3 foot. And so you can see this is how big 3 feet is. That's how big this opening should be. So this drawing came in really small. So what we can do is type in scale, select everything here, hit enter. Now we're going to go to the inside part of the door and select there. And now we type in ref for reference. So we'll select the first part, then we'll select the other inside of the door, and now we go to how big we want it. And we want it to there. And now we have made the plans the size of the door, and we know that it should roughly be to scale. Okay? So now we have that in, and we know that we have a door opening here. So instead of me going through and tracing all this, I don't really care. I just need to know that there's a door here. For low voltage purposes, we don't really care about the, every little bit of it, like the jam that they're showing here, the architects. I mean, it's nice to have if that you were provided a DWG, but we weren't. So what you can do is just draw the insides of the jam and then type in TR for trim, and you just come in and trim it. I'm going to undo. So the fact that it's not just stopping at this line tells me that this line is not touching. So I always drag past and then come to the point, and now, and let me hit undo just so you guys can see again. So I went to trim this, TR, enter, and if I select here, it stopped at the 2 crossing points. If I go here, it wants to delete the whole line, which tells me that we're not touching. So I can zoom in and see that we're missing right here. So if I bring this up and then get it so it stops at the line, now we have 2 points that we're saying that we want it trimmed between these 2 points. So I'll just type in TR, and there we go. Now we've created a door. The one other step that I will do is just to represent a door. I always draw this in. So I'll just trace the outline of the door, and then I will do an arc. So just type in arc, and then you pick your first point at the top of the door, you go to the midpoint, which is the triangle, and then finish it out to the end of it. Now I have a door, and now what's really nice is you can come through and copy this, and I could just drop this in everywhere where there's a door like this. And I'm setting up my trim points too. So you can just go through. And another thing you can do, you guys, is if you hit Let's see. If I'm going to do control, I'm going to select everything once. It's been a while since I've done this, so I just want to make sure. Yeah, you can't do that. So I will just put this back there. So one thing you can do though, again, is mirror it. And I'll just select. And again, you can run around and do this. And for the next video, guys, I will show how to do that. So imagine that we have this all laid out. Then you can come around and you can also type in M text. And that's another thing I would do is I would go to layer and I would set up a layer for text. So hit new and I would type in text. I would change the color to, one of these, probably green. Right click, set current. And now I will type in M text. And it'll let me start kind of laying it out here. So if I don't know what the size of the text they already have in, I will just type in DI for distance, and it looks like they have the text height at 4 inches, roughly 4 1/4. Right now it's coming in at 3/16, so let's type in 4.25, and there we go. So we would drop this in. It looks like they don't have spaces in here. And there you go, guys. I would then go around and I would start copying all of the labels around the room. So here we would do lockers. And so basically, you're looking at, for setting this whole thing up with just the walls and everything, if they weren't provided for you, you're looking at a couple hours of work in the morning to get this where you need to be. And the next part, you guys, I will have this finished and all traced in and drawn in. And we'll go from there because we're going to turn this into an XREF, and then we'll get going on this kind of whole setup and layout here about how we would now put the background in and then start putting in our devices and everything and getting our sheet set up with the title block, the legend, the symbols, all that sort of stuff. But I figured this would at least be a good start to kind of show you what it entails to get things going. Again, I don't expect you to sit and watch me draw for 30 minutes, all these little walls and adding text. But if you are interested in something like that, I can record it. Just leave it in the comments if you guys do want to see that. If you don't mind watching a longer video, I mean, I can show the whole entire process, but I figure I can at least speed things up. So this is going to be part 1. I will try to do one of these a night, and we'll just keep progressing. Hopefully it'll probably be 3 or 4 parts total to a finished drawing, and hopefully this wasn't too confusing. It's hard to kind of explain this in a really basic way. I'm just not good at doing that yet. I'm still learning on how to speak to a camera in a room by myself and explain this. So thanks for watching, guys. This is the start, and catch you on part 2. Thanks.